sir. Thank you for that question. But for those of y'all in the back who couldn't hear, what he asked about is he asked about the corruption we're seeing at the Department of Justice, the FBI, throughout the deep state, and is there going to be accountability? If I can shorten your question to it. Listen, I share that same frustration. I'm an alumnus of the Department of Justice. I used to be an Associate Deputy Attorney General at DOJ. You know, the Department of Justice and the FBI, they both have decades and even centuries-long traditions of being apolitical, of staying outside of politics. Now, we don't want to see, I don't want to see, a Republican Department of Justice or a Republican FBI. We want to see a Department of Justice and an FBI that follows the law and enforces the law regardless of what party someone happens to be.
Amen.
One of the very worst legacies of the Obama presidency is the politicization of law enforcement, and in particular under Eric Holder and Loretta Lynch. The Department of Justice and the FBI both became deeply politicized. We saw things like the IRS targeting citizens and citizens groups because of their political views, because they were perceived as political opponents of President Obama's. The IRS and the machinery of government went after them. That's wrong. That is not how it's supposed to work in America. And listen, I share the frustration that we've been now a year and a half into it, and it seems there's little to no accountability within DOJ or the FBI. I can tell you on the Senate Judiciary Committee what I have been trying to do is shine a light and focus on it. In particular, I'll give an example. A few weeks ago, Chris Wray, the new director of the FBI, whom President Trump appointed. Chris Wray was testifying, and I had a fairly heated exchange with him because I pointed out his predecessor, James Comey, and the former deputy director of the FBI, Andrew McCabe, had both said things that were directly 180 degrees contradictory. One or the other
Or both.
wasn't telling the truth. They couldn't both be right. And what's frustrating is the FBI knows which one's telling the truth and which one doesn't. They have the emails, they have the documentary evidence to demonstrate one or the other is lying to Congress and the American people. And unfortunately, the answer that we got from the FBI was essentially stonewall, and we're not going to give you anything. I think that's a serious mistake. At the end of the day, the executive has to change how it's behaving, and I think we need to see a fidelity to law. But I can tell you from the Senate, I'm going to continue to try to shine a light and try to ensure we have accountability regardless of your political party.
We want you to.
Thank you.